been a crazy year for everyone with the coronavirus pandemic. I turned 21 in the third national lockdown, and with nothing to show for the last year of my life, I decided it was time for an adventure. Restrictions are starting to lift, so I set myself the challenge of cycling the length of the UK, from Land's End to John O'Groats in just 10 days. Although I've been riding for almost a decade now, I've never ridden this far in such short time. It is the morning of day 2, just packed up camp, so we're up nice and early, started riding about 6:30 today. Haven't had any breakfast yet. It definitely hadn't set in how big a challenge this was actually going to be. When I told people I was going to do it, they were saying, oh, you're crazy, that's stupid, and I thought, nah, it's nothing, it's only 800 miles. First 20-30 miles, my head was a wreck. It was a mentally tough ride yesterday. On top of that, there's so many hills. We got 76 miles today, 5,000 feet of climbing. So windy today. I mean, it was a headwind the whole way. I think I've averaged about 8 miles an hour, and I've been on the bike for 10 hours. That gives you an idea of how long it's really been. I had a little bit of knee pain for most of today, which sort of took my mind off yesterday, which was so grueling mentally and physically. The hills were steep and long. There was literally not a single bit of flat road. You can only just zone out, ride on, and that's that. But I couldn't stop thinking, why am I doing this? And until I started riding from Land's End, it seemed like nothing. But as soon as I started riding, I realised, okay, this is going to be tricky. About halfway up the second biggest and second last climb of the day, But luckily I know the area quite well because I was starting to run out of energy a bit, and I thought I'll just stop at the next shop. Then I realised there really isn't going to be anywhere to stop for the next 25 miles. Once we're on top of this hill, it's just an A road, nowhere to stop at all really. So luckily I remembered in time and I managed to go back and stop at a little shop, get some sweets so I wouldn't bonk on the way back. I'm not going to know the area this well after, well, tomorrow, so stuff like that I'm going to start learning the hard way. This is another one of these stupid slightly uphill bits of road. It's not even close to a hill. On the Wahoo it literally says 0%. This is technically flat. That's what it looks like. All I can hear is fucking wind, and I'm riding along in single digit, and I just can't be bothered with this anymore. I'm so fucking fed up with this fucking road. I've been riding along it for like at least an hour now, and it's a 20-mile road, and I know that normally you can do it in an hour and a half, and that would be a slow ride. But this bike is so fucking heavy that every slight incline I slow down to it. All I've heard for the last 3 days is the fucking headwind blowing past me. I don't get how 70-mile rides are taking me 10 hours. It doesn't make sense. 8 miles an hour average, how does that happen? Just don't understand. After 3 days of grueling headwinds, I finally made it to my parents' house. I was already learning that my bike was too heavy and too slow if I was going to make it to Scotland on time. I started by ditching all non-essential items, including my coffee machine and a few camera accessories. I repacked my bags to reduce the weight on my back, and I swapped some skinnier tyres and faster wheels I'd borrowed from a friend. Oh my god, about 10 miles left I think, and I'm just ruined physically and mentally. My back is killing me, and it has been since the second day. My legs are finally ruined. I'm on this perfectly flat bit of road and I'm struggling to hold 10 miles an hour, and I do want to keep going. I want to be able to do this, but I know I may have 1 or 2 days left for me. But then it will be just so much harder to get home, and I'd be absolutely broken by then. So I think it's inevitable. This is going to be my last 10 miles of the trip. We've made it halfway. I've got that to be proud about. With snow and even stronger wind forecasted for the next few days, I was starting to give up already. But a night in a proper bed did wonders, and I decided to push on a little further. I've got to the spot for tonight, which is the massive viaduct. They're doing construction on it, so all the pillars are surrounded, and I was just going to camp behind one of the pillars to get out the wind. Also, no signal, so I'm in a bit of predicament what to do. I think I'm going to have to just ride until I find signal again, then have a look at some maps, see what the best thing to do is. It's annoying because the reason I came here was just such a cool location. Just going to get the drone up, too windy to fly the drone, and there's freaking construction equipment all over the bridge, so I'm a little bit stuck on what to do because it is bitterly cold in the wind. I'm still up on the moors, there's no signal, it's starting to get dark and I'm a little bit stressed out. The nearest town is down the hill that way, and as much as I wanted to camp up here tonight, maybe catch the sunrise here or whatever, I'm gonna go down to the nearest town and hope there's some signal there, and if not, I'm just gonna have to ride until there is some signals. I've got the tiniest bit of signal here. I've had a quick look at the map, and seeing as it's about to start hailing here, super windy, I just don't think it's a sensible place to stop tonight. It is sunset in about 40 minutes, so it's going to start getting dark. So I'm going to head down into what I'm pretty sure is the next nearest town, see if I can find somewhere a little bit sheltered with signal. I mean, I just saw mountain rescue go out. I have to be a bit more careful than that. The sensible thing to do, definitely just head down, find somewhere safe and get wrapped up warm, because I'm starting to feel the cold from been out since 7 o'clock this morning. Time to go find somewhere to sleep. I was on the way down to the nearest town. I stopped at this old building to see if it would be a good sheltered place to camp, but unfortunately it's not. There's a big, massive, dirty old puddle in the middle of it. So I'm just gonna have to keep going down till I find somewhere. Hopefully I find somewhere soon. It's getting dark and cold. The morning of day 7, the last morning. Slept in this little woodland last night, and I've just finished taking down camp. Wasn't that discreet really, but it was so dark and late by the time I found this place that I was fed up and I just wanted to go to sleep. Didn't even cook dinner last night, so I'm absolutely starving. It's raining, so I got my full waterproofs on. It's the first and last day in the rains. The nearest town with a shop is like 7 miles away, so I'm just gonna start riding and hope we get there soon enough. I'm starving. It is cold, it is wet, I can't feel my feet, and I'm ready to go home. I was quite enjoying this for a little bit, but now it's getting old. It is sideways rain up on the top of the moors. Howling wind. It's getting cold and miserable. We've still got a long way to go. So we're off the moor now, starting to head back down, a bit out of the wind now, and it's been a slight tailwind. 5 more miles until the next town. Gonna get some hot food and a hot drink. With yellow warnings for snow in the Highlands, it just didn't seem safe to carry on. After riding in the rain for about 7 hours, I was absolutely soaked. Swapping socks was all I could do to try and bring some warmth back into my feet. I was fed up and I was ready to go home. So I decided I was going to set my sights on getting to the border, and I pushed on for the last 10 or so miles.